What is going on?
I don't know. What was that disturbing look on your face?
What's up, everybody? It's Sunday. It's been a couple weeks since we've done the show. We skipped it last week because we had Ryan and Allie, Rally Roots, here staying with us for a week, and we were
having too much fun to stop in the middle of the day and do a live show. Sorry about it.
Well, we might have done a live show, but we wanted to have we basically did got a room at one of the local casinos one night, and Sunday night ended up being the one to do. Not to stay there, but just so we could have access to the pool. So Sunday ended up being a pool day, as well as Monday.
Gave us two pool days out of the deal.
Yeah, we were having way too much fun to be going on the YouTube. Sorry, guys. But hey, welcome back to us and to you. What's happening, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hopefully well.
Did you forget to mute something or whatever like you usually do? Because now I'm looking at two screens that are doing at two different speeds.
Okay, so this is what people see on the YouTube, which is delayed. This is us right now. You look at that.
I always do, but you make me forget. I don't know, it looks different today.
Nothing looks different. And that is that over there is the opposite, because we have a mirror image in front of us so that you aren't confused, but apparently it didn't work at keeping you from being confused.
This is what happens when you're working with multiple screens and all the things are open on the screens. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, guys.
What's up, Linda Dean?
Hey, Linda.
So Jen's asking if it's flooding in Vegas. It's
not today.
Today it's beautiful blue skies, but yes, we've had a lot of rain. It was funny because just before the Roots came to visit, we had crazy, crazy rain.
We had a hurricane. Vegas doesn't get hurricanes.
Yeah.
We live in the desert where we do not have natural weather events necessarily. We don't really have tornadoes or hurricanes or snowstorms or squalls or any of that stuff. We do have monsoon season, but even that is limited to,
which we're kind of in right now, supposedly. But
yeah, bursts of rain for 20 to 30 minutes every couple of weeks is usually it. We have had more rain this year than I swear the last 10 years I've lived here combined.
Well, and then Ryan and Allie left, and then we had another rainstorm. And the thing is, I'm from Oregon. I know what rain is, okay? It can rain every freaking day there. But it takes usually a week or two of heavy rains before you have flooding. The thing is, in Vegas, in Nevada, we're in the desert. The ground is very hard, and so it doesn't just soak up. It takes a while for it to get into the ground, and so we get these flash floods where it rains really hard.
There's also no drainage systems built in the city. That's more important than the ground being hard. There's no drainage system. So regular places that see a lot of rain and weather have drainage systems in their streets, their roads, their sidewalks, all that stuff. We have none of that. So yeah, it takes 5 minutes for the roads to flood. It insane.
Floods super fast. But on the upside, the house that we happen to live in right now, we didn't have any issues. Our backyard, when it rains, it does start to puddle up a little bit, but we don't have any flood water or water runoff going through our property, so it just goes right in front of our house. And we're going to do a haul video that'll probably come out tomorrow or Tuesday, and I got some footage of the river going down the street in front of our house. Seriously, I had to move the car because it was coming up so high, but it doesn't actually come onto our property, so we're really lucky where we're located. Because there's other areas that are bad.
Oh yeah, we just had some of our desert landscaping, because again, we don't have grass in the desert, which is basically little rocks, wash way down the street. So anyway.
Yeah, but whatever, it is what it is. So yeah, the videos with Ryan and Allie were super fun. We put up a couple. We had one that we put up last Sunday since we weren't doing the Sunday show. And then we did a really, really fun challenge. I didn't link anything below. You guys know how to go find our videos. But our last pre-recorded video from here, we did a companion set of videos with Ryan and Allie and did a really fun thrift challenge. And Ryan's video is hilarious and awesome. We love the way he edited it.
He's just so good at editing where we're just whatever, we'll throw this up and splice some scenes together.
But it was really fun. We had a great time. We ended up, they had never been to the bins, so we took them for their very first bins visit. And of the 7 days they were here with us, we went to the bins 3 times. So
because they kept saying, "Can we go back? Can we go back?"
And we went to some thrift stores as well. So we had a great visit.
We did some garage sailing, and that wasn't even the plan. It's just this is what we all do, right? So it was part of the fun.
We Vicky and I pretty much took the whole week off. I didn't really do any new listing. I put up as much as I could, like, I'd end my old 10 oldest listings and relist them. But otherwise, we did just did sourcing because, if you're like us, that's the fun stuff. So we had a fantastic time. So definitely go check out those videos. They're really fun. And here in the next few days, I'm going to be drawing randomly from all the comments in our last video, and we're going to give out a $25 gift card. So if you still want to participate, you still can.
You got to watch both the videos, though, because it'll tell you what you need to vote on. I did want to answer one of the questions in the chat, that one right there that you have the thing on.
Okay.
Which software did you use to import listings from the eBay store you bought out? You have a chance to buy someone's inventory. So what I use is List Perfectly. And as far as I know, that may be one of the only platforms or cross-posting softwares that allows for this, but they make it very, very easy. So there is a link down below for you to get 30% off your first month if you are not a List Perfectly subscriber. What you're going to need is you're going to need to have the other person's log into their eBay store, if it's an eBay store, and then you can import all of their listings into your List Perfectly catalog. And once you have them there, then you can do what you want with them. You can post them out to your eBay store, to whatever platforms you want to use. But for me, they may not have been my listings or my photos or exactly the way I would have done them, but that's part of the reason why I bought what I bought, was because it was going to be so easy to do that. So I didn't have to rephotograph, remeasure, retake anything. I just took all of their existing listings, imported them into my List Perfectly catalog, and then slowly doled them out to my eBay and everything else. But it took me a couple of days doing I didn't do it all day long. Obviously, you could probably do it in one day, depending on how much you're getting. But I think mine was like close to 700 listings total, or just under 700 listings total. It was pretty easy. So
well, and you ended up, because you paid how much for that whole thing?
I paid on average about $3 an item.
Yeah, and you weren't super excited about most of the inventory, but because you didn't have to go and photograph or do any of that stuff, and you just pretty much got to list it. I think there was like half a second where you were like, I'm full of regret. I shouldn't have bought all this. And then now you've been way in the black for a while.
Quite a while.
I bought it super fast.
I bought it in March, and I've sold, I don't want to say half of the items, but maybe half the items. I mean, I'm well in the black on it. I don't keep details down on each individual transaction.
Well, and when you get to skip like a big portion of the work, the photographs, the listing, and all that stuff, when you get to skip that, it makes you a lot less precious about the items, to where you would get like an offer that normally you'd be like, no, I need more, and you'd be like, whatever, I'm making money.
That's really it. I literally have $3 into every item and my time, and that's a little bit different than my initial $2 to $3 purchasing, plus I pay someone to list and pay someone to cross-post. So I generally have about $6 to $7 into every item overall. When it's something I'm sourcing myself. So for me, $3 in, I'm like, and it was some of it was mediocre bread and butter stuff, right? It just was. That's I got some great stuff, and then I got some mediocre stuff. And for me, I'm like, oh, I get a $25 offer on something I have $3 into. Yeah, I'll take that. Oh, I got a $20 offer. I'll take it. I'm just trying to clear it out.
$3 and no real labor. So
yeah, so
it definitely makes it so much easier.
So I see Danny's in the chat there. Just want to let you guys know we will be immediately following this show. We're going to be hopping over onto Danny, the Niche Ladies channel, and joining her for her live. We're going to try to wrap it up close to 3:00, but she's going to start her show right at 3, and then we'll pop over there after she's done her intro and we've wrapped up over here. So if anybody wants to join us there, we will be giving away two virtual tickets to the Boss Reseller Remix, which is coming up really fast, guys. If you have not bought a ticket yet, what the fuck are you waiting for?
All right. That was a big F-bomb 9 minutes into the show.
But seriously,
stop attacking people.
Seriously. I mean, because we're 6 weeks away. I mean, if you haven't bought one, you really got to get one. Because we're going to shut it off at some point.
So, Robin, what's going on? So, Robin, who is our friend and also helps you with your cross-posting, although she's had to take a break because of health issues. She was going through a lot of pain issues. It turned out to be, you know better than me.
She had bulging discs, and she actually had to have back surgery. They went in through her neck.
What's crazy, though, so I never knew this was a thing. Like, when I think of back surgery, I'm like, yeah, you're back. I saw the picture, Robin, of you recovering, and you had like a big incision right here, and I'm like, what is that? they freaking like go in from the front. It's nuts. But all this pain that she had in her arm where she couldn't even do just about anything.
She had bulging and compressed discs.
Like she couldn't even, she couldn't even like just sit on the couch and do cross posting. Like that's how bad it was. She was completely incapacitated. But she woke up and her throat hurt really bad. But like all the pain in her arm like completely gone. So yeah, just that is so crazy.
So she's gonna have some time that she's gotta get better. But
but we're really glad that you were able to successfully get through that surgery, Robin. There may or may not be something coming your way. Vicki will be the one who sends it because if it's up to me,
it's going out Tuesday. I already got it in a box.
I know. I was gonna say if it's up to me, it'd get there in about a month. Anyway, that's super awesome. So let's get into our show so we can get the ball rolling here. This is our Sunday live show. We break it into 3 parts. The first part, we look at our real numbers for this last week, our gross numbers across all of our platforms, and then we look at some of the costs such as fees, shipping, and most importantly, cost of goods.
Right? You can look at somebody's, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but we've got some new viewers in the chat here, so I want to explain a little bit more about why we go over our real numbers. Not everybody does that, and that's okay. Nobody owes you that information, right? But the reality is that you can look at these huge piles and stacks of sales every Monday or weekend that someone's posting on Instagram and the highlight reel, and good for them, right? But you don't know what the cost of goods are. You don't know if they've paid, they might have made $4,000 that weekend, but they paid $3,600 for it. So, it's all about perspective. So we try to be as transparent as possible so you can compare apples to apples. If you know what we've paid for something, you know what it sells for.
Very true.
And then we all know what the fees are on the various platforms. They may be a little bit different depending on whether you're doing promoted listings or how much or that type of thing. But the apples to apples numbers you can compare so you can see realistically what is achievable and what isn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome, Renee. We're very happy to have you here. But yeah, and we like to kind of be realistic and transparent about like what our how we're doing with our businesses. And anyone who's been watching us for a few years knows there used to be better days. Okay, there used to be better days.
Ups and downs.
There's always ups and downs, but it has been a little bit rough this year. But I think things are going pretty well. And so we do that. So the middle part of our show, we look at our sales highlights. So for anybody, who started out, some of the new people here who started out watching some of our haul videos, this Sunday live show, a lot of it is kind of showing, okay, we got all this stuff and we put it up for sale. What happens next? And so that's why we show you our real numbers. And then we show you sales highlights, some of the cool stuff that we sold over the last week. This time we're pulling things from the last 2 weeks because we didn't have a show last week. And in the last part of our show, we go over kind of what our goals are, like what our goals were last time we had a show and if we were able to meet them this last week, and then we talk about what we're going to try to do for this next week. And this is really about us, with the struggle with sales this last year and a half. This is about us trying to really buckle down and have accountability and like set those goals so that we hopefully can achieve them. And if we don't, we can kind of talk about why and hopefully figure out how we can do things better going forward. I know for me, like, they say like how long it takes to like create a habit. Mm-hmm. And it really is true. It takes a while, but once you have that habit instilled, it almost like it's almost painful to like have to step away from it. Like we took a week off with Ryan and Allie here. I gotta tell you,
I didn't miss anything.
I didn't miss it, but it definitely was bugging me that I wasn't listing every day. It's like I was mostly able to relax and enjoy it, but we have been going so hard and being so consistent for the past couple of months that I definitely have that habit set to where I was like, by the time they left, I was like, good riddance. And I got, just kidding. But I was definitely happy to be getting back to work and getting some listings done again. Anyway, so welcome to everybody who is here that's new. If you aren't sure who's who, we are correctly lined up on your screen. I'm Katie. This is Vicki, a.k.a. Victoria, when she wants to be taken very seriously, a.k.a. my wife. We've been married since December, but today, guys, marks the 6 years 6-year anniversary, 6 years that we have been together, that we started dating. Because, I mean, come on, we're girls. We pretty much were together the first day. So, because Vicki's like, she moved in with a U-Haul. Vicki's like, it's our anniversary, it's 6 years. And then she does this post, and it's like, first date. And it's...
It's true.
Whatever, it's true. So we've been together for 6 years, which is pretty awesome. But thank you guys for being here, and let's go ahead and get into the first part of our show. We're going to look at my numbers. Now, the title of today's show, I put, Can We Survive on the Bins? We've been pretty much only sourcing from the bins. Vikki is taking off to Colorado next week, so we won't have a show next Sunday. But to do some sourcing there. She will be hitting some thrift stores as well, but she'll be hitting some bins. But I've been pretty much exclusively sourcing from the bins, and let me tell you, for me, it's reinvigorated me. Like I'm like so much more excited because our bins here have gotten so good, in my opinion. They've gotten so good. Whatever. They've gotten so good at like turning so fast that I'm finding all kinds of crazy stuff. Like I'm in the process of photographing. I'm just finishing up processing some stuff. I'm going to have, I think, like 150 pieces altogether. And then while you're gone, I think I'm going to hit the bins like every morning just for an hour or two. But I really think like now I see like you can totally have a thriving business and just source at the bins.
Apparently she didn't believe it when it was just me having just a thriving business sourcing at the bins.
She
had to be able to find that out on her own.
Okay, no. Okay, she says that like I'd never heard of the bins. I started reselling at the end of 2015, and I was full-time all of 2016. My first main source of inventory was the bins. So the bins are not anything new to me. I didn't say it was. I know. I'm just clarifying to our audience.
You've been sitting next to me talking about my numbers for the past 3. I've been sourcing almost exclusively at the bins for more than 3 years now. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. But
bite me.
That's when sales were real good, and I can afford to pay up to have some really high level stuff. Plus, the bins here were not always that great for streetwear. I'm just saying.
They've been that great for 3 years.
How dare you? How dare you? Renee, I apologize. Maybe you didn't want to come to this channel. Just kidding. Anyway,
Archie Biscuit Butt is in the chat. Hey, I also wanted to say thank you for those of you guys that showed up at our meetup. If you happen to live in the Las Vegas area, Katy and I, mostly me, Katy shows up, run the local meetup group here in town for resellers. Doesn't matter what platform you sell on. Most of us sell on at least eBay, but we have people that attend that sell on all different platforms and you know, cross-post to many different platforms. So we have a meetup that I host semi-regularly, but I did have one that I put together when Ryan and Allie were here. It's the biggest one we've had in quite a while. I can't imagine what the draw was. It certainly wasn't Katy and I, but it was probably Ryan.
They were all here to see me.
But anyway, it was really nice. We had a lot of fun. We had about 30 people come, and we had some new people come, and it was a good time. And we met that couple that also has a channel. Archie, can you put them in the chat? Jenna and John?
I think Jenna and John.
I don't remember what their channel is, though. But they were super nice, and Archie brought them and other local resellers that I did not know before. Mm-hmm. So we got to meet a few new people this week, too. So it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, for reals. Let's get into our numbers here. We're going to look at mine. So, you know, eBay's still it's still my number one platform. It still has been pretty slow. It's funny, I had a day, so we shipped all of our weekend items last Monday, and by Tuesday I had $700 in orders to ship out, and only 100 of them were eBay. So if you guys are not selling on more than one platform right now, you're losing a lot. You're like missing out on so many sales, because I'd be in a real bad place if I was only selling on eBay. I just gotta say that. Okay, so I have 18 eBay orders, 10 Etsy, 4 Poshmark, 7 between Grailed, Mercari, and Depop. I actually have a Grailed sale in there. No private orders, for a total number of outgoing orders being 39. My eBay gross sales, $999.90.
Oh, Numbers Geek is in the chat. She's going to like that one.
Oh. Etsy, $553.82. Poshmark, I'm loving this Poshmark. I mean, I'll take an extra $1,000 a month. I never thought.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said I'm loving this Poshmark.
I'm sorry, what?
I said I'm loving this Poshmark. Okay? I said I'm a posh twat. What's the problem? Okay? You like that?
It makes me wheeze.
Calm down.
I sound like Teresa right now.
And then $371.99 between Grailed, Mercari, and Depop. So my total is $22.08.71. So I mean, I think I'm doing okay. I think I am taking a tiny bit of a hit from not doing any listing in the last week. But man, I'm jumping in full force this week. And Vicky's going to be out of my hair for a few days, and I'm going to be listing about 5,000 items a day. You won't believe how productive I am. It'll be crazy.
So she's super productive when I'm gone. I don't know what that tells you. Apparently, I'm dragging her down.
I'm just kidding.
I am ruining her for
Vicky
everything.
has this expectation that, like, at some point in the day, you should quit working. like 6 o'clock at night. And I'm like, why can't I work till 11? So that'll be happening. It's definitely not healthy long term, but I like having a few days every now and then.
She loves when I go away. Don't let her keep it.
I love it. I love it for roughly 3 days, and then I'm like, eh. And
I'm only going to be gone for 4 this time, though, 4.5. So she'll miss me for part of it.
Yeah. Okay, so the shipping $130, $157. You can see the breakdown of fees there. Cost of goods about $125. Total net sales. I would like to be at least $2,000 for my total net sales, but I will take this $1,677.62. My gross average sale price $56.63. I used to be above $70 for my average sale price, but now that I'm sourcing at the bins, I am going for some lower dollar items, and I'm okay with that. So now my goal is I just want to keep it above $50 if possible. Net average sale price $43.02. So I'm okay with this week. I want it to get better. I'd like to be able to see some
That's good for you, though.
Okay, it's good for me as of late, but I would like to be up over 2,000 on my net sales if possible. That's where I'd like to be. All right, how about you?
This was a good week. I am not going to complain about this week, guys. I think I've had 2 or 3 good weeks in the last 4 to 6, and I'm cool with that. It's getting better. I can feel it getting better, right? So about 6-7 weeks ago, I hired a new helper, and that is actually helping me a lot. Doing listings, it's getting me to get a large quantity of listings up consistently. And even though that is an investment in the amount that I'm paying, and having to source more frequently, it is actually starting to pay off because I can see it. It was hurting for the first 3 or 4 weeks, I'm not going to lie. But in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I can definitely see my numbers rising. So being more consistent, and getting listings done every single day, which is what we've always said, which everyone has always said. But you know how it gets, right? Life gets busy. We don't always get everything done all the time.
See, Jill says most of us like the first few days our spouses are away.
I don't. So, sorry.
Well, that's because you are not a person who understands the concept of alone time.
That's true.
So
one quick question there. Who did ask, what would you do if the guys at the bins closed? Well, we both were successful resellers for many, many, many years, long before the bins existed, or we used the bins, for me anyway. So I would just be doing wholesale purchases from fellow sellers, or I would go back to thrift store shopping, traveling to shop, and so if the bins closed, it would be annoying, don't get me wrong. I'd have to work harder and go to more locations, but I did everything without the bins for 20 plus years.
And for people who have been watching us, we've shifted how we source multiple times over the past several years. So it is what it is, but we're going to take it while it's good. So, all right.
Besides the fact that neither Katie nor I buy or sell things that most people are looking for at the bins. So, or in thrift stores. So it makes it a little bit easier for both of us. Anyway, so I had a good week. I did 34 orders on eBay, 11 on Etsy, 13 on Poshmark, 9 on Mercari. I did not have any private orders for a total of 67 orders. I have $18.96 on eBay, which was a little bit low, but $1,000 on Etsy, $509 on Poshmark, $461 on Mercari, for a total of $38.71 for my gross for the week. My shipping was a little bit high. I did have some heavier items. And then you see the breakdown of the fees there. My cost of goods is always low, $188. And I actually had one item in there that I paid $30 for. So that tells you that my cost of goods is generally very low. My total net is over $2,800, $2,857.98 for the week.
Nice.
I like my net to be $2,500 to $3,000 a week. So that puts me right in that sweet spot where I want to be. My gross average sales price, I like to have between 50 and 60, and we're right there, $57.78 for my gross average sale price, and my net average sale price of $42.66. So for me, good week. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Annette asked, do I use Posh VA? No, we actually both use One Shop.
Mm-hmm.
The bot. Posh VA is a bot as well. We both use One Shop because it does more than Posh VA, and we use it for more than
she's saying Posh. A Posh VA. I think she's
I'm sorry.
But yeah, we both use One Shop. I use it for Mercari and Depop and Poshmark. So even though it's $45 a month, I feel like spread across 3 platforms, it's well worth it.
Yeah, I don't use it for Depop, but for Poshmark and Mercari, it's great. It does have a lot of different features. I'm going to say the majority of the features are annoying and work like crap. However, the auto bot stuff for Poshmark works really well.
Autobot. That sounds like a transformer. Autobot.
Yeah, I think that isn't a transformer.
It's the Autobots. All right, let's go ahead and look at our sales highlights. Why don't you tell us what you got? What's going on here?
So this was an item that I had picked up at the bins, and it's just vintage overalls from Express from the 90s. I've talked about this all the time. You want to make sure you grab the vintage overalls. 80s, 90s, before that, whatever, because now the overalls are all made skinny leg. People like wide leg and the straight leg, and without the stretch. They just fit different, right? So this is one. I didn't realize until I got it home that it actually didn't have the flippin' buckles at the end. So I just wanted to say that what I did was I picked up buckles. It does have buckles now. It was shipped with buckles. I bought them on Amazon. They were like $6 for 10 pair. Silver, fit fine. Now they're gone. They sold fairly quickly. They sold within a month for $67.
And then you got the buckles professionally installed.
Yes, by you, because I couldn't figure out how to thread them properly.
I'm also pretty sure I gave you these at the bins. Almost always I will give her overalls that I find because I do not want to photograph them.
I knew. I miss Crystal's kick legs with the photos too. We're getting there.
They'll come back. They'll be back.
We're getting there with my new lister. She's learning. She's doing great. But nothing's perfect when you first start, right? I wasn't either. Neither was Crystal. So you get better with the photos as we go. But
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, they still sold, right? This is where we talk about the 80-20 rule, right? You got to let go of being a total control freak about everything and just have it be good enough sometimes. Good enough is good enough.
Rosie says, wee!
Yes, the flip legs. Wee legs.
Don't worry, I've got something that I show. I've got something I sold that has the wee legs. Okay, first up for me, I was a little sad to see this go. I had priced it really high in hopes that I could sell it, or I could keep it for a while.
You could keep it.
That's right. My sister actually gave this to me. She found this at a thrift store in Oregon. But the reason it's special is because it's from Skate Palace. Skate Palace. This was our skating rink back in Oregon that we went to growing up. And so she found this and thought it was awesome, and she wasn't like she was going to wear it, so she gave it to me to sell. But this is from the 80s, guys. I don't know about you.
83 Oregon State Skate World Championships.
I've had this for like a couple of years because seriously, I really didn't want to sell it. But then I was finally like, what am I doing with this? So I actually had sent out an offer for $70 and somebody accepted. Sorry.
I think I saw Tracy in the chat. So if I had found one that said Riverdale Roller World.
That's what I was saying. What was your local skating rink, you guys?
Oh, mine was Riverdale Roller World. Yeah, 100%.
So ours was Skate Palace. I mean, come on. You cannot beat a palace of skating. But it was just this awesome little zip-up track jacket. And
someone threw some patches on.
No, this is professional.
Okay.
Kathleen, what? Kathleen said she competed at Skate Palace and Oaks Park. Oaks Park is a skating rink up in Portland. I've been to Oaks Park as well, but I, of course, because of my childhood, prefer Skate Palace. Ooh, Magic Elm Skate Land. I like that one. Very cool. Pickin' Peaches. Peaches was there. Of course it was. See, it's like every single street and avenue in Boulevard is called Peach something. And so their skating rink was Peaches.
Oh, I'm loving all these names of these roller rinks.
Ooh, Moonlight Roller Rink in LA.
I wish they were still open. I mean, the one that we had in Rhode Island was Riverdale, and we loved that thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I love it. Very cool. Very cool. Anyway, so I sold it for $70. You know, I was a little sad
70?
about it. I know, but I mean, I've had it for so long. What am I going to do with it? It's so
all right,
cool.
Time to let it go.
My childhood is dead. All right, go ahead.
This is just a beta lot of movies I picked up at the bins. I believe they charged me 50 cents a piece for these. So a lot of 19, that means it cost me $8. And they sold for the price you see there, $105 on sale. It was free shipping, but shipped media mail. So I think the media mail was like $12 because it was pretty heavy. Not even any fantastic titles in there. I did look to see if any of them were worth more than others. Not so much. But I really just got them because they were beta, and there are some people that really love the beta stuff. If these were just VHS in these titles, I wouldn't have picked them up at all. I wouldn't have taken them for free, to be quite honest with you. But because they were beta, I just put them all in a lot and said, let's go. And they didn't take that long to sell, really. Just like maybe 3 or 4 months, which is not a long time for vintage stuff.
Very cool. All right, next up for me. So I actually sold 2 t-shirts to the same person. They bought 2 Christian t-shirts. The other one they bought for $69.99, and this one sold for the price you see there, $97.99. It'd been a while since I'd sold a Jesus tee, but I love this one. This is like, I love the color on this, like the kind of neon, like LA Gear colors going on.
Oh, totally LA Gear.
With the triangle, kind of like Guess, you know. But I was just excited because I got an order and it was like $170. What? So it gave me hope that maybe I'll start selling some more of my other Jesus tees. They haven't been moving as fast for me. So
no, they were really hot for a minute.
I think they still are. It's just maybe the ones I have nobody really wants at this point. But these ones sold anyway.
These ones.
How dare I will speak the way I want to speak. And you will deal with it and get over it. Okay, what do you got?
So I showed you these in a haul a few weeks ago. I had picked up a bunch. Katie got a few of them too, but I had picked up a bunch of vintage 90s Oshkosh made in the USA stuff and a couple of other really cute pieces that were not Oshkosh but still cute. And this is one of them. Now, I listed everything really high. Some of these Oshkosh pieces go for insane amounts, especially these little bright bubble rompers. Not so much the just the plain overalls, but the patterns are better. And the bigger the sizes, the better. Because, right, people want these for kids that are toddlers that are going to stay in them longer and not wear them for like 3 weeks, right? So they're so stinking cute. My God, this is the stuff my daughter was dressed in. My daughter was born in 93, and I dressed her in this stuff every day. There's one specifically that I have for sale that I 100% knew my daughter wore and had.
Yeah, this one's my favorite of the ones that you picked up. I love all of them.
I love all of them. They're just so flippin' cute. Now, I could have held out for more money, especially around the holidays. These collectors are crazy. I'm actually in a couple of vintage Oshkosh groups that I never even posted in because I thought that they'd sell faster in there, but the groups are kind of crazy. So I was like, no, I'm not doing those deal or no deal things. I don't have time for that crap. So I did sell these. I said when I did the haul video that I would take an offer on any of them for over $75. I don't care how popular they are. And I've had them listed for about a month now. So this is one of them. This sold for the price you see there, $136.46. Nice. They did go to a freight forwarder in Oregon, which is a lot of these will. They're going to go to China. They're going to go to Japan. They're very popular with the Asian market. A lot of 80s and 90s vintage is, especially kids stuff and gunny sacks. So yeah, these sold for $136.46. I paid what, a quarter?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, the bins came out, and it was like there were 2 bins on opposite ends of each other that were filled with a bunch of Oshkosh stuff. So I got a bunch, and Vicky got a bunch. It was crazy.
And it's not just any Oshkosh, so just keep in mind the good patterns made in the USA.
Yep. All right. Next up, look! I did the legs. I did the legs. Whee! It's like an invisible man jumping. Okay, so Levi's 501. So it's really weird because I've been picking up 501s at the bins because they'd been selling, and then I went like a good month or so without selling any, and all of a sudden within 2 days I sold 3 pairs of Levi's 501s to all 3 different buyers. So this was the one that sold for the most, $97.99. It's just a black pair of 90s Levi's 501s. But I bought them at the bins, guys, so I paid like $2-3 for them. I mean, hello. So I don't pick up a lot of Levi's stuff, but the main thing I do pick up is the 501 jeans. So they're always like a good sale.
I talk about these type of things, and I'm going to show you another sale later on that is actually going to even blow this one away. But I pick up these things at the bins all the time. Good leather handbags or briefcases or messenger bags, especially briefcases and messenger bags, satchels, art portfolios, that type of thing. People still love and use these. They're actually excellent gifts for people that are like lawyers or architects or people that are artists. They carry things in these things. They're not like today's briefcases. So when you get something that's really, really thick, heavy made, well-made leather, it doesn't really have a lot to do with the brand, although some brands sell very well. This one, this was both brand and construction. It's just a beautiful piece of leather. So don't shy away from these type of things is all I'm going to say. It doesn't necessarily matter what the brand is. People are going to buy it based on quality and construction, and this sold for that. So I've had it listed for maybe a month. Sold for I paid based on the weight $1. What do we have? It's $1.89 at our bins now. So I probably paid $8 or $9 for this because it's probably a good 4 to 5 pounds. And it sold for $150.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, next up for me. Oh, boy. Raw Deal Satin Bomber Jacket, Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I've had this for quite a while. I believe this is this is something I got from like a big bulk buy that I bought like a bunch of shirts and movie stuff.
Yeah.
And so I've had it for a while, priced it pretty high, but it finally sold $139.99. My cost for this particular piece was anywhere from $10 to $20. But it's so freaking cool. But this is like something that came out like when this probably went to like the video rental place.
Yep.
Because it's got the little home video thing on the front of it. Nobody gives me a raw deal. That's not how Arnold talks, but I can't really do an Arnold.
Please don't try.
How dare you? How dare you? But sold for $140. I just like really cool, unique stuff like this. It's not always going to sell super fast, but it just needs a little bit of time to get to the right buyer that is ready to give it a new home. And I'm not going to sell it cheap because, you know me, I love movies. I love collectibles, movie collectibles. So I'm fine hanging on to it for a while until it gets to the right person who sees its value.
Hey, I see Jay is in the chat. We missed you at the meetup. We finally had a meetup, and I was wondering where you were.
In Oregon, apparently.
Apparently in Oregon.
Oregon does have pretty awesome summers. I will say that's one thing I miss is how great they are.
Well, hopefully we're going to see you in a few weeks at the Boss Reseller Remix. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment.
Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl's new to the chat, joining the live show. Welcome, welcome. Very nice to have you here. Okay, next up for you. Let's see what you got. Whoa, is that Chewbacca? What's going on?
It does look a little Chewbacca-esque. This is a vintage fur. I've been showing furs almost every week in my sales. I think the whole wearing big bulky furs is kind of a thing now again. I've seen a lot of like on Instagram and influencers and things like that wearing furs over very casual clothing, and I kind of love that. Vintage furs are the best. I love that people, are rescuing old vintage furs. I'm not all about helping the environment for new ones. I'm not an activist or anything like that. But, vintage ones are vintage and I love it and they're already there. If you're going to go for the look, please wear a vintage fur.
I feel like the faux fur they're able to do pretty well nowadays.
Yeah, and faux fur is very different now.
As far as like you can still get the look if you want it new, but yeah, the vintage stuff.
Yeah, it might be because of the Barbie movie, but actually they started selling a few months before the Barbie movie came out. But I'm still happy with it. So they sold for the price you see there, $220. This was part of my buyout from the Clothing Vault, which was the vintage company that List Perfectly owned. And they got rid of their actual inventory a few years ago. So this was I've had this since October of 2020. Doesn't mean it was listed then, but I've had it since October of 2020. So it has been listed for quite a while. However, I have the space, or I had the space, and I don't mind hanging on to long tail vintage items to get a good return on
And that's the thing about fur, before you get into buying it, is it can sell for really high amounts, but it is a long tail item, and it does take up a bit of space.
It does, and it's going to sit there for a long time. I'm not going to lie. Fur coats, they don't get anywhere near the money they used to get. First of all, most people paid $1,000 or $2,000 for that mink or that silver fox coat in the 80s or the 90s. They're going to get $200 for it now. So it definitely depreciates and has nowhere near the value it did before. However, they are worth rescuing and selling if you can get them cheap enough.
Yeah. All right, next up for me, let's jump over to Etsy. So I had some fun sales while Ryan and Allie were here that were kind of blowing Ryan's mind that I sold for so much. But here's the thing. I've had this t-shirt for way too long. I know I've got it priced lower on other platforms. I'm sure I've sent out offers as low as like $40-$50 on eBay. But all of a sudden, this Rodney Crowell t-shirt sold for $89.99 on Etsy. And that's the thing about Etsy. It's like eBay's my number one source of revenue, but Etsy, I definitely get higher prices than I would get other places. So I paid maybe $10 for this t-shirt. I mean, it is a cool 80s band tee, but it's kind of, Rodney Crowell, I don't know, a lot of people talk about their deep love for Rodney Crowell.
No, he's kind of an obscure country artist for sure.
So,
he didn't even really have that many hits, honestly.
Yeah,
it's pretty obscure.
But I was excited to see it sell for $90. I was like, oh, I still have that listed for that much. Whoops. But happy to get the sale.
All right. So this was actually a beautiful, first of all, Crystal, these photos are fantastic on this one. But I got this from the bins. This is a vintage Lily Rubin from the 80s. And Lily Rubin is one of those names. I always say when we're talking about vintage that the name doesn't necessarily sell it, the look does. In this case, it's both. Lily Rubin was a good name and a very good designer. So a lot of the Lily Rubin, will sell based on the name alone. Go back to the photos, please, so you can see the item. But look at that dress, first of all. If you want to look like, I don't even know, like, this is like 80s dynasty.
Yeah.
On the, to the nth degree, and it looks fantastic on the mannequin. It wasn't listed all that long, maybe a few months, and it sold for the price you see there, the $225 plus shipping. Knots Landing, anything 80s, total dynasty vibes, and it's a really, really nicely made dress, and you can tell it's quality and high end. So I was happy with that price.
Very cool. All right, next up for me on Etsy, look at this awesome Beverly Hills sweatshirt.
Oh my God.
I always pick up anything Beverly Hills, anything that says Beverly Hills on it. And I actually had picked up 2 different sweatshirts at the bins on the same day that said Beverly Hills on them. Kind of worn, kind of faded. So what I paid like maybe at most $1.50 for this sweatshirt and sold it for $89.99. You can see there it's 1986.
It almost looks like a Ferrari logo. It's like
kind of.
Yeah, that's such a cheesy tourist sweatshirt, but God, it's good. That logo's good.
I know, I love it. I will always pick up Beverly Hills stuff. Anything that just kind of sounds rich. I love like when I find like Beverly Hills Country Club. But just very cool. What color? The color of this? It's red. Is that what you're asking?
Oh, Crystal Carrington. That's the name I was thinking of. Thank you. That's exactly who was in my head.
There you go. I don't know what you're talking about, but sure.
I know. I didn't even watch Dynasty or Dallas. I was too young but when they were on, but I'm well aware of the looks.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so my awesome Beverly Hills sweatshirt, $90, guys. $90.
Sweet. So this is the item that I actually paid up a little bit for. I do try to, when all of our friends were first jumping on the Whatnot bandwagon a little over a year ago, I very much tried to follow and watch a lot of their shows, both to learn how to do it, but also to be supportive of our friends and people in the community. And these were these super cute things that I purchased from our friend Laura, who's an admin in the Boss Group. Laura Franzica. So I did pay about $30 for these, and I knew they would take a while to sell, and I also knew they were going to sell on Etsy. I just knew they were going to sell on Etsy. So they finally sold. They sold for the price you see there, $97 and change, plus shipping. Buyer paid to send these as an anniversary gift to her parents. I thought that was really cute.
Oh, that's really cute. Very, very cute. Okay, next up for me, Wrangler.
That's not even an exciting one.
How dare you? It's very exciting. How dare you? Look at the rich colors, the blues. Come on. I don't see why you have to be such a naysayer. Anyway, we were in California visiting our friends Deb and Mel, and we went into what's the Saves a Lot? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Something like that.
Something.
This thrift store there, they had one, I got quite a few things there, but they had one section that had stuff that was like, they had decided was worth more money, so they had priced up. And they had a similar to this one, another Wrangler shirt that was priced like $16.99, and I was like, F that. And then I found this shirt on another rack, and it was only $7, and I was like, yeah. And it sold already for $89.99. I guess
you had it listed like a week.
I know, I guess I should have gotten the one for $16.99 too. But I don't pay that much for stuff anymore, guys. I'm over it.
Well, and also, I mean, Wrangler, if you go look at the average sale price for Wrangler Western shirts, it's less than half of what you sold that for. So Etsy, that's another reason to show. Etsy, you get really good prices. Of course, the better the pattern. If it's a really crazy pattern, you're going to get good money. But that's a fast, good buy. Shocking to me that you sold it for that high.
But the color is so blue and rich, and I love it. It's such a nice condition. So, suck it. All right, next up.
All right. So this is my crazy sale for the week. This was a bins purchase. This sold for the price you see there, $599.95. This customer could not be happier about receiving this item. This is a bins purchase that I paid. It's very heavy. It weighs actually 10 pounds. So I paid probably $18 for it by weight. In fact, actually, I may have had it paid $7.99 actually because it's so heavy.
Yeah, maybe.
They may have given me a flat rate of $7.99. I'm not sure. Anyway, doesn't matter. $7.99 or $15-$16, whatever, close enough. And it sold for $599.95. Now, the buyer contacted me. I had put in calculated shipping on this on Etsy, and I've only had it listed on there for a couple months. I'd put calculated shipping on Etsy. I don't usually do that, but this was a bigger, heavier item. And just like eBay, calculated shipping sucks when you're looking at big items. So the customer contacted me. They were in New York. She's like, is this shipping right? I want this item, but that seems very excessive. It was showing her $130 for shipping. Now, I was like, what country are you in? Thinking they were contacting me with international. I was like, well, even that sounds heavy for a lot for 10 pounds. Yeah. So she's like, I'm in New York. I was like, oh, let me just go in and adjust that. And I put in a flat shipping rate of $29.95, which is probably what it's going to cost me, all around that for UPS ground. And she bought it immediately. So just so you know, watch your calculated shipping if you live on one side of the country or another, both for eBay and on any platform. It's going to show ridiculous prices sometimes.
Yeah, watch it.
It doesn't take into account discount ground shipping. So anyway, $600. That's my sale of the week. I'm like super psyched for that one.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Mercari. I don't know what's going on, but I've been getting Mercari sales. Grailed, I only had one sale this week, but Mercari's like pow, 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 pow. I've sold like 5 things. Anyway, this really sweet Michael Dukakis t-shirt. I think that's
a funny caricature.
So so he didn't make it to actually like run for president. He was in the primary against I believe against
George Bush.
No, not George Bush.
Oh,
he was a Democrat.
88 was Reagan.
No, he was a Democrat. So whoever ran against George Bush in those days. Anyway, I don't remember. I was young, so I would have been 9 at this time.
He actually did run for president.
But
with Geraldine Ferrara.
Okay, but the primary, right? Or like, was he the final?
No, he was running for president.
Okay. No, I know he was. Okay, never mind. Somebody can look it up for us. I'm differentiating between getting elected or getting nominated for the primary as opposed to actually being of the 2 candidates. So somebody can tell. He was the nominee. Okay. So he was the nominee.
I said.
I know. I was trying to clarify.
Mondale.
Gotcha.
Was in the prom. You're right. But anyway, his running mate was Geraldine Ferrara, which is why I told you that he was already the nominee.
So I always remember this name because this is like probably the first election that I have any like memory of, just because I'm sure my dad, who was like voting Republican at that time, would grumble about him a lot. But so Michael Dukakis, 1988, sold it for $58. I mean, I paid like $5 for this t-shirt. You can see it on the Hanes tee, but I really like old political t-shirts. I mean, especially I feel like the 80s, especially because you get all like the fun caricatures and cartoons.
Oh yeah, they were funny.
Everything.
Yeah, and George was the candidate. Thank you. I knew I was right.
Yeah,
that was what I said. He was running against Bush.
Yeah. All right, so $58. But Mercari, I don't know what's happening with you. Sometimes I hate you, and sometimes I'm like, you're okay, I guess. That's about as close as I get to it. I don't ever say I love you, Mercari.
All right, so this was a bins find. So I probably paid less than $2. It's under £1. This is vintage. It is 70s. This is very much why I put those types of keywords like goth or witch or things like that in the titles, because this right here to me screams like Wednesday Addams, gothic, witchy, core, all that kind of stuff, which is super popular, especially coming up into the costume season. But hopefully, most people that buy good vintage are not doing it for costume reasons. They're just doing it because they wear it daily. But anyway, it sold for $67. I was just more talking about this one is not important when it comes to, the brand.
Yeah.
The brand doesn't mean a heck of a lot. It's not going to draw anything to it, but this is a really, really cool dress. And I still sell vintage. I still sell quite a lot on Poshmark. And then for any of our new viewers, I sell primarily vintage clothing, and the brand names are irrelevant for the most part. So the fact that I can still do well as a Poshmark seller, and I'm not selling brand names, so my items are not searchable by brand, means that you should have your stuff on Posh if you have clothing. That's all.
I'm not even, for the most part, putting brands in. I'm just putting vintage on Poshmark, and I'm selling stuff.
I do. Same.
Because I'm just like, I don't think anyone's searching for Hanes or jerseys, or for the most part, not enough of them to warrant me taking the time to like enter in each brand. So, this is, I don't understand why this is like, for some reason it's not letting me show. Wait, is it gonna let me?
That's it.
Oh, it did it. It did it. Earlier it would flash the listing. Oh, there, see? I'm not crazy, guys. Anyway, let's do it one more time. You guys can look at it before it disappears. Here we go. This new river. See it? I saw it.
That was it.
I sold that for $69.99. I don't know why it won't let you see the listing. I paid like $5, maybe $10, probably $5 for that T-shirt. I think it's super cool.
Blue and white and a jersey.
Yeah. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh, there you go. Good enough. We got it.
All right. Anyway, I sold it for $70.
We're gonna have to do this again with another.
That was no. The other one's fine. That was one of my 2 Depop sales for the week, but yeah, it won't let me see that shirt. So, but I'm glad you guys saw it. You saw it briefly, so it is. It
existed. It existed.
It is what it is.
So another thing I've talked about a few times over the last few months, or even maybe through the last year or so, is vintage '90s and Y2K. Khaki cargo shorts. We all know how I feel about cargo shorts if you watch me enough. Ugh.
But you can carry snacks around.
Okay, I don't care if you can carry snacks in your pockets.
Some candy.
Listen. However, they're back, guys. Okay, the dad shorts, the cargo shorts, they're back. Now the kids are wearing them. But these are big, oversized, baggy. They actually had a big waist at 42. I don't think these are a fun, funky kid buying these with the 42-inch waist. They probably are dad shorts being purchased by a dad to wear as his daily
dad costume,
as his daily dad outfit to wear with his white socks and his
New Balance shoes.
Sneakers. But I did like these specifically because they were, show the tag a little.
Please. I can't. It won't let me do it.
Because they have the polo spelled out on the pocket. So
yeah,
I could have carried Ripley around in the pockets. You're correct.
It's true. Speaking of carrying Ripley around, so when the first or second day that we went to the bins, Allie picked up it was like a dog sling that you could carry on your side. Ripley was not into it, but both Grizz and Luna thought it was delightful. I knew Grizz would be into it. Luna at first, like, she kind of freaked out when she put her in there, and then it's like she realized, like, oh, this is amazing. I can snuggle up next to somebody, and the puppy can't get me. So
Sue asked a question, how can you find out if something is vintage if you're not knowledgeable on clothing? That's a very difficult question. You really can't.
Yeah.
You need to make yourself knowledgeable on the vintage clothing. And to do that, I would suggest watching YouTube videos, going and following certain hashtags on Instagram, just so that you can see what people are selling and what is popular in vintage.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to learn tags and decades and fabrics and zippers and buttons and things like that. It is a very, very long learning curve. So it's not something that I can answer for you in a very easy answer.
And also, Susan, I don't know where you live, but, vintage is pretty hot right now. And I know even here in Vegas, we've got a few, like, vintage shops. Not talking thrift stores. I'm talking, like, actual vintage shops where things are probably priced way out of anyone's price range. But it's a good way to go in and check out some true vintage pieces. So, I mean, if you're in so Mississippi, I don't know, bigger cities.
My other suggestion is going to be that just to be on eBay itself, break your clothing categories down and look at, like, vintage shirt, vintage shoes, vintage sweater, vintage pants, vintage dress, and then break it down by decades and look through solds. Yeah. And that's the best way for you to learn, because if you've got good listings, and not the super crappy listings, just skip over those. But look for the ones that have good titles, good descriptions, and good photographs that will teach you what is popular.
Well, and if you look at the solds and you go highest to lowest, the higher sales are probably going to have better listings. So, okay, next up, another Depop sale. This one is allowing us to look at. This is this really cute Taz mailman T-shirt. Look how cute he is. But this one sold for $100.
He is cute.
And this, I think I paid like $25. He's
got dog spray, dog be gone.
Yeah.
Dog repellent. That's what it said.
Yeah, it's a really, really, really cute shirt, but sold it for $100. And like I said, I bought this from Jesse. It was pretty. I remember it was pretty dirty and discolored, and this was a huge washing
on the changes tag,
washing and bleaching success story, and it came out looking fantabulous. I've had it for a while though. My Taz stuff isn't moving as fast as it used to. But
like anything else, it's cyclical, guys.
I will take a cool hundo.
All right, we're good. Speed up a little bit more just so we can get to our goals for the week.
All right.
This is another one. This is another one that actually, this one sold on Mercari. I had this listed much higher. As you can see, I had it listed at $229, and I had a customer send me a message, and he's like, I don't want to miss out. And he could have been leaving me selling me a line of crap. Who cares, right? I had already said that I was going to sell anything over $75 that came with a solid offer. But here's what I was going to do is that this was, he was going to get an ultrasound this week, having his first baby with his wife. And he's like, I think it's a girl, but I don't know. But I don't want to miss out on these in case it is a girl.
Oh.
I was like, he's like, but this is all I can afford.
But I mean, $130 is a good price.
I don't care what the reason was.
It's not like he was trying to get it for $40.
Right. So I was like, all right, if I make it $130, and then he bought it immediately and left great feedback and stuff. So I just thought that was super cute. And this was a guy that was messaging me. Yeah. So $130. I paid about a quarter. They were listed on Mercari. They were listed maybe a week.
Yeah.
Super cute.
Yeah. No, bleaching doesn't hurt the colors on a t-shirt that's printed. I mean, you don't want to like bleach your t-shirts over and over and over again because it does
degrade the fibers.
It will degrade the fibers. But if I'm doing it one time and it's like filthy, then I'm going to do it. All right, last thing. This was me channeling my inner Victoria. I got these a while ago. These riding breeches. They are just freaking awesome from like either the 30s or 40s. Just very, very cool. So I priced them very high, but then somebody offered me $100. I think I had it priced at $200. Somebody offered me $100, and I was like, yeah, I paid roughly $2 for them. I will sell them for $100. So I was super happy to sell them.
The waist, 332 inches. That's a big one.
I have the picture. There you go. So yes.
Well, I figured it was 30. It just made me laugh.
That's funny. Anyway, so yeah, this was definitely when I was starting to pick up stuff that wasn't my normal thing, but because I'd come across these and I was like, I'm not giving them to Vikki, I'm taking them myself.
So, true, she did say that almost exactly verbatim. And then she's like, look at these, look at these, look at these, look what I got, look what I got.
Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. You deserved it, though.
Probably.
Because the truth is, nobody's better at shoving things in your face like Vikki is.
That's true. That's true.
So sometimes she deserves...
I am going to be that friend that says, I told you so.
Oh, see, 100%. Yeah, and nobody ever wants to hear that.
100% I'm that friend. Sorry about it. Not really.
See, I'm the one that just sits back and I look at him like, Because if you say it, then that just makes you a tool. Well, but you're like, you just can't resist saying it.
No, I'm going to say
like,
it.
I'll be a tool. Anyway, so that's the first two parts. We're getting close to 3 o'clock here, but we are still going to take our time to talk about the goals part. I don't even remember what I did. I'm pretty sure I hit my goal the week that Ryan and Allie came because they got here on Wednesday, so we had the first few days to get stuff done. But we're just going to skip to this last week. I mean, my goal every week has been to do 50 listings. I actually did 52, guys. I hit it hard after those guys left. I got 52 listings done, so I was very happy about that. Finished off all the stuff I had to list, and now I'm in picture mode. I'm getting everything ready. I have quite a few things to do, so I'm going to be photographing for a couple more hours today, and then probably half the day tomorrow photographing and taking measurements. But I got my 52 listings up. We did our 2 pre-recorded videos because we did one on Sunday, and then we did the other one on Thursday. I think it was Thursday or Friday. Mm-hmm. So for the most part, I think, and I'm pretty much caught up with my Poshmark cross-posting. I'm at almost 1,900 listings on Poshmark now. So I'm all caught up there. Now I'm just going back and cross-posting. I'm basically like 2 months behind with everything else. So now that's what I'm doing every day. How was your last week as far as your goals?
So my goals are usually 150 listings a week. I do have, for those of you that don't know, I do have someone that does do draft listings for me on clothing. And she's been doing anywhere from like 70 to 75 listings a week. So that's half of them right there.
Yeah.
The other ones are, which I then have to, price and tweak and all that kind of stuff and get them listed. Now, the other 75 I do myself, and that's hard goods and shoes and linens and things like that. So the week that Ryan and Allie were here, I did not make 150. I think my goal was 100 that particular week, and I probably got to around 75. I don't think I made my goal. However, since they left on Wednesday to now on Sunday, I've already done well over 100 listings. So for this week, not too bad for only having done half the week.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I leave on Thursday for 4 days to Colorado to do a big sourcing, so I will not be doing that while I'm gone. I don't really know what my goal is this week. I'm going to say my goal is to get 60 listings done.
Hold on. We're going to be gone for 2 weeks. We're not going to be doing a show next week. So what? How about your goal for the next 2 weeks?
The next 2 weeks, first of all, is to source 1,000 pounds of inventory while I'm in Colorado for 4 days.
What did you do last time?
750 pounds.
Okay, 1,000 pounds, guys. That's our goal.
So my goal is 1,000 pounds, and I will be shipping at home. And it's Colorado, so it's cheap shipping. So that's going to be Bins and ARC thrift stores, and I'll be doing that with Liz and with our friend Kristen, Rural Squirrel, at least one of the days, and we're going to hang out. And that'll be fun. That's fun but fun work, right? So
fun work.
But it's like 8 hours a day for 4 days. There's no. It's we like fall exhausted by the end of the day, but that will keep me set for maybe the rest of the year because of some other stuff. So I won't be sourcing anywhere else or anything else. And then my goal is I'll probably get 60 listings up over the next 3 days. And then I'm trying to do at least five a day while I'm gone. I'll be able to get those launched for my drafts because I'll have a few minutes every morning to get that stuff done. Although I really hate working on my Chromebook and it makes it very difficult. So it sucks. I need a new Chromebook that's all I take with me. So, yeah, so there's that. So they'll be sending all that home. I did photograph every single thing in the house. I have no backlog of items that need to be photographed. I do have at least 100 items, hard goods, that are photographed that I need to list. So I'm going to like balls to the wall for the next 3 days. Leave on, am I still going to be selling while I'm away? Yes, Patricia, because Katy will actually be shipping for me.
Yeah, I get to ship. She's going to leave super early Thursday morning, so I'm going to be shipping for her Thursday, Friday. We don't ship on Saturdays, and then I will have to ship on Monday because she's not getting back till late on Monday.
Yeah.
So as far as like my goals go, so like I said, I've got a bunch of stuff I'm taking pictures of. I think I have like close to 150 items, so I'm going to get all the rest of that stuff photographed and measured, and my goal is to have all of that listed by the time Vikki comes back. I also, because she's going to be sourcing all the stuff, she is not going to be as motivated to be going to the bins. So I think, rather than, last time I did a daily challenge where I went to the bins every day, I processed everything and then listed it same day. I'm not going to do that. It's not efficient, but I am going to do the bins every day. So I take her to the airport like 5 a.m. on Thursday. I'll come home and then I'll head back out to the bins that morning. So I'm going to go to the bins Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm going to hit it every day because, like I said, she's not going to be motivated when she comes back to go to the bins. So if I'm going,
I'm going to have so much stuff
anyway. So I figure I might as well get a head start and have some stuff ready to go. And then depending on where I'm at with listing all the other stuff, I might start photographing some of that. But
however, even though I'm not going to be motivated to be sourcing when I come back, what this big trip of 4 or 5 days sourcing does for me is it frees up 3 days a week. Half of the day I'm sourcing 3 days of the week. So I'm not going to need to do that for the next several months, which gives me more time to get stuff listed.
True.
And more time to actually, just get some work done. We're heading into the home stretch for the Boss Reseller Remix, which also means that there's a lot of time taken away with a lot of the last minute details and things we all need to do for that. So for those of you that don't know what the Boss Reseller Remix is, it is a 3-day annual conference that Katy, myself, and our friend Teresa, that is in the chat, Club Red 97, put together. This is our 3rd year. It is a live in-person reselling event. It's a conference where we teach sellers, not just us. We have a bevy of people in the community that come and help us teach others. Tickets are on sale right now. If you want to know more about the event itself, you can watch some of our other videos, but also if you follow us over to Danny, the Niche Lady, her channel right now. We're going to be signing off and going to her channel to be talking about reselling and about the Boss Reseller Remix. We will be giving away 2 virtual tickets during her show as well. So please feel free to join us in the chat and hear more about the event itself.
Yeah. Also, as far as videos go, Vikki and I will be doing a sourcing video or a bins haul video here either tomorrow or the next day. And then I will make sure to get some sort of video up. I want to stick to our 2 videos a week at least. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but maybe I'll find some cool stuff.
Talk to herself.
Maybe I'll find some cool stuff on Thursday, Friday.
It's just going to be her.
What are you saying? They're not going to watch me find stuff on my own? How dare you? No, my goal, here's my goal. Every day that I go to the bins without Vikki, my goal is to find one thing that's going to make her mad she wasn't there.
It's true.
Yeah, that's my plan.
And she will. She will, for sure.
That's my plan, guys.
If anybody wants to put a link in the chat to Danny's show that she just started a few minutes ago, we're going to go over there now as we're closing up. But if somebody can put a link in the chat for us.
Maybe Barbara, I see.
Barbara or Teresa or someone that has you have to have a moderator thing. If you could put a link in the chat. It's called The Niche Lady is her channel.
Yep. But anyway, guys, please make sure that you set your goals for the week. Put it in the chat, or after this video is over in a minute or so, put it in the comments. We want you guys to be on this journey along with us, setting goals, holding yourselves accountable, and just then we
want to head into Q4 killing it, right? Everybody wants to head into Q4 killing it. This has been a more challenging year than most, I will say, for a lot of us as resellers. The market has changed a little bit. So let's do our best to make sure that we are prepared to hit the ground running when the buyers are in front of us, right?
We have to run?
Well, I mean, nobody wants to see that.
All right, hey, we got it twice. We got it from Teresa and from Barbara. All right, thank you so much. And we're going to head over there right now, and we will see you guys very shortly. Thank you. See you later. Bye.